Today, we are going to talk about a story. A story of a girl who had no home, no mother, and no one to hold her hand. A girl who grew up and became the most famous woman in the world. But fame did not save her. Because inside, she was still that little girl. Lost, alone, waiting for someone to stay. Her name was Marilyn Monroe. And this is her real story. She was born on June 1st, 1926, in Los Angeles. Her mother's name was Gladys. But Gladys was sick. She had a mental illness. She could not take care of her baby. So the baby was given away. To a foster family. Then another family. Then another. Before she was 12 years old, she had lived in 11 different homes. And one orphanage. Every time she felt safe, she was moved again. Every time she got close to someone, they sent her away. She learned one thing very early in life. People leave. She once said about her own mother, "She never kissed me. She never held me in her arms." Just imagine a little girl saying that about her own mother. That pain never left her. Not even when the whole world knew her name. At 16 years old, she got married. Not because she was in love, but because she was afraid of going back to the orphanage. Her husband worked in a factory. She worked there too. They were young, they were poor. Life was hard, but one day a photographer saw her face, and everything changed. She started modeling. People stopped and stared. She was beautiful. Everyone could see that. But beauty does not fix a broken heart. She was escaping one cage and walking slowly into another. In 1946, a big Hollywood studio signed her. They changed her name, from Norma Jeane Baker to Marilyn Monroe. They changed her hair, her voice, her walk, her image. They told her, be blonde, be soft, be funny, be simple. And she did it. She became the character they wanted. But somewhere deep inside, Norma Jeane was still there, watching, waiting, hoping that one day someone would see her, not the character. Here is something most people do not know. Marilyn Monroe loved to read books. Serious books. Deep books. She was intelligent. She was curious. She had real thoughts and real feelings. But the world only wanted the smile. So she kept smiling. By the early 1950s, Marilyn was everywhere. Her films made millions of dollars. Her face was on every magazine. Every man wanted to know her. Every woman wanted to look like her. In 1954, she married a famous baseball player, Joe DiMaggio. The whole world watched. It felt like a fairy tale. But fairy tales don't last long. DiMaggio wanted her at home. Not on screen. Not in front of cameras. He was controlling. He was jealous. The marriage ended in only 9 months. She was the most loved woman on the planet, but in her own home, she felt like a prisoner. Think about that for a moment. With fame came pressure. Impossible pressure. She could not sleep at night. Her mind would not stop. She was always anxious, always afraid. Afraid that one day people would stop loving her. Just like everyone else had. So doctors gave her pills. Pills to sleep, pills to wake up, pills to feel calm, pills to feel normal. She married again, this time to a famous writer named Arthur Miller. Many people thought this is her perfect match. But even this marriage failed. It ended in 1961. During one of her last films, she had to stop shooting. She spent a whole week in a hospital, just to clean the pills from her body. Doctors gave her medicine to fix her. But no one fixed what was really broken. People think loneliness means being alone. But Marilyn Monroe was never physically alone. There were always photographers, directors, fans, people who wanted something from her. And yet she once said, "Sometimes I feel my whole life has been one big rejection." She was surrounded by thousands of people, and she felt completely invisible. That is the deepest kind of lonely, the kind that lives inside you even when you are standing in the middle of a crowd. By 1962, Marilyn was falling apart. In June of that year, the Hollywood studio fired her. They said she missed too many days of filming. But she was sick, not lazy. Sick. A few weeks before she died, she was at a party. She sat alone in a corner all night. Someone heard her whispering to herself, 36. 36. It's all over. She believed that at 36, a woman in Hollywood had no future. She had just performed for 15,000 people. She had just sung Happy Birthday to the President of the United States. The crowd went crazy. But if you look at the photographs from that night, look closely at her eyes. Behind that smile, something was already gone. Saturday, August 4th, 1962, Marilyn spent the day at her home in Los Angeles. She made phone calls. She talked to friends. She got a massage. Her psychiatrist came to visit in the afternoon. He noticed she seemed troubled. That night, her housekeeper noticed something strange. The bedroom light was still on. Very late. She knocked on the door. No answer. She called Marilyn's name. Silence. When they finally opened the door, Marilyn Monroe was gone. She was found with empty pill bottles around her, and the phone still in her hand, as if she had been trying to call someone, as if she was still reaching out one last time. The coroner said it was a probable suicide. She was 36 years old. More than 60 years have passed, and Marilyn Monroe is still everywhere. Her face, her voice, her image. Artists painted her. Singers copied her. Movies were made about her. But her real story, her real self, was always hidden. She was a woman who suffered deeply and smiled every single day. She once tried to start a foundation to help children with mental health problems. Children like the little girl she used to be. She never got to finish that dream. But it tells you something important. The girl who was never cared for spent her whole life trying to care for others. Marilyn Monroe had everything the world says you need: fame, beauty, money, attention, and she was still lost. Because what she really needed, no camera could ever give her. She needed to feel safe. She needed to be seen. Not as Marilyn Monroe, but as Norma Jeane, the little girl who just wanted someone to stay. So the next time you see someone smiling, really smiling, all the time check on them. Because the loudest laugh can hide the quietest pain. Marilyn Monroe was not just a movie star. She was a human being. And human beings need more than applause. They need someone to stay. The world loved Marilyn Monroe, but nobody saved Norma Jeane.